Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia and Pace Farm Eggs. G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome to the show. Today I have brought you to north of Goulburn in New South Wales. It's a country man cave in the bush. In this week's Classic Restos, on the road. Man caves, a saying that has been done to death, but they are museum houses, timelines of automotive history here in Australia and around the world. When people decide to build these domestic museums, history is captured. This is the story of Adam and Cathy Lawrence. Adam has spent 35 years in the automotive game, and it's the old story. It's in your blood. As an enthusiast, you become a die-hard, and that often transfers to home. And here, on a few acres, it's the perfect place. Adam and Cathy are the owners of Jim Wall Automotive in Mittagong, New South Wales. So they practice what they preach. Today, it's Holden. There's a deep Holden legacy here, and Adam is only too proud, showing us the final roar. And with me now, how are you, Adam?
Good, thank you, Fletch.
So, mate, you've got a beautiful place.
Thank you, thank you. I've worked hard to get it.
Now, how long have you been here, mate?
Been here a bit over 2 years. Yeah.
You've done well.
Thank you, thank you.
It takes time to make a good pizza. You've got the shed happening here, and, well, we know that you're a die-hard Holden.
A little bit.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Ever since I grew up, my mum, my dad had Holdens forever, and I got into the game, repairing cars, buying, selling, in the automotive industry for a long time. Just love Holdens. Yeah.
Now, this episode could have been of any brand. Didn't set out particularly for just the one brand here, but I knew that Adam had a man cave, and opening up the door here, laced with Holdens, a lot of history here, which is nice. This is, again, it's the legacy stuff, isn't it?
It is. We've got to keep these cars going. We need them in the future. We don't want them just seeing them sitting in paddocks and rusting away. So I enjoy fixing them, looking after them, driving them. I enjoy the whole lot. And
when you have cars in an environment like this, these cars are living better than some people. It's almost like a climate-controlled environment, and you've got insulation in here, a beautiful shed floor. I love how you've got the cars set up, the four noses of the cars pointing to go north and get out of here at any moment.
Correct, yeah. We love driving them. I don't just sit at home and look at them. I do drive them when I get a chance. My wife loves to come with me and drive them. She's enthusiastic about it too.
Isn't that important when your partner is just as enthusiastic about things as you are?
It is, and she lets me have free rein, whatever I'd like to do, which is good.
This man cave means to me a place where Adam can just be at ease, he can be himself, just relax. It's a place where we just come and relax, and we can spend so much time. Everything has a connection to Adam, so it's special that he has stories for pretty much everything in this shed.
The memorabilia I've just purchased all over Australia, all over the years, from swap meets to your online purchases. Just collected it. So it became a hobby, just collecting it and having it to look at it. And then when we moved here a few years ago, I decided I've always wanted a shed, and I put one together. In
Adam's head, he would have loved to have a collection like this. It's always been his dream, but I didn't envisage this quite as big.
So with your memorabilia, when did you start collecting? Or look, where does it go back with you? Were you 5 or 6, and were you born into cars? Whereabouts on the timeline did all this cut in?
Definitely born into cars. Father was panel beating, mechanical, the whole lot. Probably about 30 years ago, I sort of just had this urge that I wanted to start buying memorabilia, so which I did, and today is what you see. So after about 25, 30 years of buying.
What's the most special thing in this shed? If there was one particular thing, apart from the lovely Cathy over there, what means the most to you?
Probably this one behind us, the VK. I've always wanted one. It was just a thing, like everyone growing up, into cars, watching the races and watching PB do his thing. And when I seen this car in 86, I just thought one day I want one. So.
It's amazing. We look at old race footage and it's emotional stuff. And again, it doesn't matter what camp, it doesn't matter who you're barrack for, it doesn't matter. Ford, Holden, Chrysler, it doesn't matter. Sitting and watching our Australian motor racing, I think when I look back now, it was possibly taken for granted because we never knew anything was going to happen to that.
Yeah. Exactly. I sort of, with racing all my life, it was sort of the background, like the background music of my life, and I always, enjoyed the racing, watched the racing, the camaraderie, and all. It was really good. So it was just in my head one day that these are the cars that I seen on the track when I was younger, and just fell in love with it, and I just said one day I'm going to do it.
So what's happened now? We're all in the one basket. We all have our classic cars. The ones that we have are the ones left. And the attitude is to preserve them.
Without a doubt, yeah. I spend quite a few hours in here, not only working on the cars, but just admiring them, and just to be able to sit here and watch them and look at them in my shed is for me is amazing.
I've been a motoring enthusiast all my life. My Coupe 4 is rare and very special. A real performance car with all-wheel drive grip. I'm not a car club bloke and I don't work on it myself, but I do have a great mechanic. One day, I might even get that HQ. When it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons.
Shannons shares your passion. Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
In 2025, why not consider a tour of Detroit, Michigan, USA with Fletch? Detroit, it's the Motown City, the automotive epicenter. Each day is wow, wow, and more wow. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your exclusive 2025 Detroit tour with Fletch. Enquiries at DetroitClassicTours.com. All of these cars are insured with Shannons. If you would like to find a policy that suits you best, why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And becoming a member of the Shannons Club has never been easier. For more information, visit shannons.com.au and access Australia's largest automotive online hub. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
This car means my whole life. Growing up as a teenager or a young guy, this was what was on the road back then. This was what I sat down on Sundays and watched TV. Vehicles like this, race around the track. I was just mesmerised by the whole thing. I just wanted one of those cars. Back then there was no way in the world that I could afford it. Now as a bit older I am, and you have a bit more disposable income, we can afford to do things like this. Always wanted it, and now I've got it. I come up here and I just get so much enjoyment of being in a place that I've put together, and the cars that are close and dear to me. So this is what I've got, and this is what I enjoy. So this little man cave, or my little garage, I've got to sometimes just pinch myself and say, how good it is. So, but just to sit in here at night and just do little things and play with your cars, it's amazing. Truly is amazing.
Quite often we've spent many nights up here till early hours of the morning, and we've thought, oh wow, better go to bed. It's we watch TV and just talk, and
I'm a car guy. I've always been a car guy, into cars, and it really doesn't matter whether you have, you know, one car that you love or 3 or 7. It doesn't matter, or motorbikes or trucks. It's just what makes you happy. So, and this is what makes me happy. So there's lots of other things that I could have done with my money, but this is what I wanted.
How you doing, Adam? You having fun?
Great, thanks, Fletch. Yeah, great, yeah. Good day.
Tools.
Yep.
Now, you have your tools in your hand.
Yep.
A lot around here,
yes.
Don't you?
Yes, I do. Yep. Mainly tinkering, but I like to get right into it, down and greasy. Yeah, I enjoy that.
And I've got to admire your tool collection.
Yes.
Systematically placed, strategically positioned in pull-out drawers.
That's right. That's just the way it's got to be.
Of course, doing your own work, you've got to have a comprehensive tool collection. Now, Adam, beautiful attention to detail here with the VK, the 05. Run us through some of the specs that you've done here to this mighty 5 litre.
So it's a 355 stroker, has a Harrop intake manifold, Pro Systems carburetor, PWR radiator, all the good stuff. So yeah.
What sort of cam did you go? A roller cam?
Roller cam, yeah, a Crow cam.
So horsepower-wise, what are we looking at here, Adam?
Just under 440 horsepower. Has a get drag 5-speed and a true track diff. So
great street number, especially in a car of this weight as well.
Yeah, it is. So I'd like that's at the tyres, 440. We're going to go for a little bit more, hopefully to get closer to 500 at the tyres, and then we'll leave it at that, and we'll just have a good driver, a good cruiser on the weekend. Yeah. So.
Look at that. Wow.
A lot of these tools that I purchased here, I sort of got screwed around a bit with them. So in the end, I was able to sort of handle it all, so, which was quite good for me, yeah.
Were you ever flat-bladed in any deals? Or?
Both, yeah, definitely. Always flat-bladed, yeah, always.
Yeah, well, the guy sold them to you, I think his name was Philip. Philip's, you've only got to look at his head, Philip's head.
Yes.
God,
exactly.
Gee, I don't know if I'd deal with him or not.
No, exactly. Philip's a bit of a brawler as well, so he gets stuck right into these screws.
When you get down to the thread of it, you've got to work that out.
Yeah, exactly, all the way.
So, Adam, what's the next drawer?
The next drawer would be the spanner drawer.
I want to see your spanners.
Okay, well, happy to show you my spanners. I have all different sizes and...
Have a look at the spanners.
Yeah. Always ratcheting, normal, handheld. We do it all here.
And you're into your open-enders as well.
I'm into open-enders. I'm into round-ender as well. So I enjoy my spanner collection.
That's the hex of it.
Exactly, yeah. So here I have my 1990 HSV Clubsport factory car. Pretty much all original. I have done some paint work on it. When I purchased the car back in 2016, the car was all pulled to bits. So it was just basically bring it home, put it all back together, put my little touches on, and as you see it now, it's a very nice car. I enjoy driving it, and I just love it. Has a large knob in the middle of the console. Occasionally, I'm not sure exactly what to do with that, but I grab it tightly, and we end up being able to manoeuvre it, that I can get the car to propel forward. So I've told Cathy during the day that I've touched knobs, that she's okay with that. So yeah, she's okay. She doesn't mind me touching a knob. Yeah.
Adam's jokes, well, I think I've heard pretty much them all about 100 times, but they don't get old.
The condition of the vehicle when I purchased it back in 16, the vehicle was sort of average condition, so it did need, as I was saying previously, that it need to put it all back together. So the vehicle had all the bits there, so it just needed to be cleaned and loved and put all back together, and you can see that the condition that it's in now. While not everything on it is original from factory, but I tried to make it look like that. It's an enjoyable car I like to drive, so it's just a nice cruiser.
Back around the beginning of the VN, around 1988, First time I saw that 5 litre injection, or the 5,000 injection up there. It was pretty impressive. A good looking engine.
Yeah, it was extremely impressive. I remember being a young teenager and looking at the bonnet under one of these the first time and gone, wow, I've got to have one.
And they went well too.
They did, yeah. As opposed to today's standards, what we thought back in the day, these were great to drive and went really well. Yeah.
Now, Adam, tell us the story of the gearbox in this particular car.
Yep. So the gearbox that's come out on these was a T5G, which was in the Walkinshaws. So when the Walkinshaws sort of finished and wound up, they had some parts left over, headers, etc. Headers on these vehicles, and the T5G transmission was a wider ratio.
Standing in front of a 1990 V, and especially a HSV, all these decades later, it does mean something, doesn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. So when these started and changed from the VL, it was a whole new dynamics of car, and like myself, I wanted to look under the bonnet. I wanted to see what they had. I wanted to see the guts, and that's back as a teenager, that's what made me fall in love with these older HSVs.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Your story began in 1971. It's part of an endless tapestry that tells the story of our nation. It connects innovators to artisans, forests to houses, from the largest of operations to the smallest of outcomes. It's heritage. It's a legacy.
The car behind me here is a 1990 SV 5000 in British Racing Green, number 312 of 360 odd. This car, I have a love affair with this car. I love the colour, I love the way it looks. I purchased it a couple of years ago. I didn't have to do a lot to it. It just needed tidying up. But yeah, this car is a pleasure to drive. Even if you just sit in it, it's luxury. For back in the 90s, this car just oozes luxury. With my Clubsport as well, that's over, we just sort of briefly spoke about to drive them. It's a little bit different to drive. This one's an automatic, and the Silver Clubsport is the 5-speed manual. Both similar, but they have their own quirks, the way they drive. So with both these vehicles as drivability, they're both around the 185 kilowatt. They are a pleasure to drive both of them, even though they are quite old and early 90s or 90. They are with the same engines, the 5,000 the 5,000 5-litre engines. It really is a pleasure. I'm really so happy that I'm able to own these vehicles. I purchased this car, as I said, a few years back, and once I sort of even got next to the vehicle in the early stages of purchasing it, the emotions were just high. Like they were just above what I could experience in doing anything in my life. And once I really owned the car and it sat in the place where it is with all of its friends, it's just a pleasure. It is just a pleasure. I'm glad that I purchased it in the way I did. So purchased it off the second owner of the vehicle. The vehicle's only travelled 80,000 kilometres, so there was not a lot that I had to do. We just tidy up a bit of paintwork and just give it my little touches that's not genuine, but not a lot. But yeah, great car. I'm so lucky to have been able to buy these vehicles and have them in my shed and just be able to enjoy them. So, which, follow your dreams, as Peter Brock used to say, follow your dreams, and which I did, and I took a leaf out of his book, and this is what I've come up with. So just my little pieces of motoring history, which I love and I enjoy just having them here. Even just looking at them, it's just so good. So for my final car that I have here is one behind me here, the white 89 model VN Commodore Bolina. It sort of just finishes the suit what I had, a couple of HSVs and a Bolina. This car's only travelled 58,000 kilometres, which is on the speedo. There's a few things that are a little bit different on the car that I've added that I like a Calais grille, and I've changed it to some B45 Simmons on it. It was just little things that I like that in a car. So, but why I still try and keep the car as original as I can. I've just got an obsession, I think, with VN Commodores at the moment. So, but I love this car as well. I don't really have a favourite, but I just enjoy driving all of them. Just going back to 05, the VK that we've seen, that car is just amazing to drive. The second I turn key and pull out of the garage, every time I pull up at a servo to put a bit of petrol in or maybe even buy a drink, people come out and just want to get photos, and to me that's the biggest smile that I can get. So I love all of my cars. The VK is just, when you drive it, the head turns, everyone looks at it, they all want to know about it, they all want to talk about it, but that exhilaration that you feel and the noise of the stroker engine, it's just, you can't get that from a late model vehicle. But these older vehicles, they've got to be cherished, they've got to be loved, and I'm one of those guys that I'm prepared to do it. Driving 05, the VK, I don't have a stereo in it, and I'm not going to put a stereo in it. I want to listen to the exhaust. I put a big engine in it, I put a big exhaust on it, I roll the window down, and I just want to be me, and I want to be behind the car that I own. And that 05, the sound, the noise, the drivability of it, it is just amazing, just amazing. I can't stress enough that owning an old vehicle, especially mid-90s, it just soothes the soul, And for me, it's everything. I'm a car guy, and I just love these old cars.
It's incredible being with Adam today. Did you know if you put a frilly around your neck, you could, and dress up, you could be a baron or step back in time and live in a castle?
Yeah, I do enjoy dressing up, and I would love to live in a castle. So, yeah, I would definitely have a go at that. So.
Had a lot of fun here today with this guy. You do a great job, and the presentation of your vehicles here is fantastic. And they may be some of the models that get taken for granted. Maybe we forget about temporarily. For those that don't spring up of a morning and think of a 1990 VN Commodore type of thing. But when you get to the shed here, see them all lined up and look at them, it is a step back in time. And of course the 5,000 injection across the top of those 5-litre Holden engines have always, to me, looked really good. They've always looked the part. And these decades later, they're still looking so good sitting here, aren't they?
Yeah. And look, as I said, I try to preserve them as much as I can, and I want them to look the way I want them to look, and I love just sitting them in my man cave.
Yeah.
So.
And in terms of a therapy zone and a place to zone out in, having a place like this, it really is priceless, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. I come home from work and I come up here and I just look at my cars and it just, I relax so much, and I'm ready for the next day.
Good on you. Well, I'm going to give you a plug. Jim Wall Automotive Mechanics at Mittagong there, and great bunch of guys, good team of mechanics, and I'm going to give you a plug on that because you give a lot of good out to people as well. You help a lot of people as well. It's not just a one-way street with you, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, look, these days it's not all about money. It's about helping the community, and which I try and do a lot. And my mechanics that I have are just the best, and we all help where we can. And yeah, look, been in the motor trade for a long time, and I do know a little bit what it's about. So, but I try my best.
All right. Thank you, Adam, and thank you very much to your wife, Kath, as well, taking care of us here today. Been a pleasure catching up. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Fletch.
Well, that is a wrap. You have seen the devoted Holden collection belonging to Adam and Cathy Lawrence. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch. Thanks for watching.
So, Fletch, do you like my floor mat?
It makes me tired looking at it. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia and Pace Farm Eggs.